This is the 2025 Land Cruiser 1958 four-wheel drive hybrid edition. This lifted Land Cruiser is an absolute specimen of a vehicle, with the sleek all-black colorway for the exterior paired with a spacious, sleek-looking cabin on the interior. This Land Cruiser has the Heritage grille and headlight style, plus Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 features like a blind spot monitor and lane departure alert. Add in a roof rack, four-wheel drive capabilities, and a combined fuel economy of 23 miles per gallon of gas, and you'll find that this Land Cruiser is the right new vehicle to get you anywhere you need to go, both on and off the road. Today, we're taking Joe Widmar for a spin. The 6'1" veteran Ford is in his first year with Roanoke, and the Northbrook, Illinois native has 8 goals, 20 assists, and a +4 rating in 23 games this year for the Dawgs. Joe, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you? It's a nice
Doing
whip.
well. Yeah, get off to a strong start there with the door lock. You doing
Yeah.
okay, man?
Oh, yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to
I'm Mitch Stewart, and this is Driving with the Dogs.
see you.
Yeah. Been excited to get you on, man. I know that this summer when the move was made to acquire you and bring you to Roanoke, a lot of people were really excited. That's kind of where I want to start back at, is when that trade happens over the summer, when you had ended the season with Pensacola. What were those first conversations like with Dan Bremner? When did you kind of find out that that was in motion, and how did that kind of come about where you decided that if push came to shove, you were going to end up with the Dawgs this year?
Yeah, I mean, I found out, it was kind of a quick process. The Pensacola head coach had called me, and we just talked about the next season. It was kind of best for me to get traded, and, you know, about, I think, like maybe a day or two later, I found out I got traded to Roanoke, and then had a, really good conversation with Dan. Obviously, I'd been familiar with the organization, so I knew that I was going into a good spot, so I was really excited.
And that first weekend that you finally do suit up for the Dawgs back in November, it was pretty strong way to start it off here as far as the weekend that you were able to put together. You and Nick Ford both get co-players of the week in front of a packed house there against Quad City those 2 nights. What was it like as far as that first experience getting to play here, and especially with you and Fordo? That chemistry seemed to click right off the rip.
Yeah. I mean, it was obviously it was a great welcome to Roanoke, both on and off the ice. Like, I had no idea how nice of a city it was, and I really didn't know how great fan support it was. Obviously, I knew what type of player Nick Ford was, and, I was really happy to be playing on a line with him, and then we definitely gelled right away.
And there were a couple of guys that I know that you had some prior connections to. A lot of these guys coming from Illinois or the Chicago area or whatever it might be, whether it's Nick or Matty O'Day or Jake Stevens that just came in. What were maybe some of those prior connections that you had, maybe as far as guys that you'd played with in the past or maybe skated with in the summer? When you first came into Roanoke, it felt like you weren't just a brand new guy coming in. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I had known Nick a little bit. We're both 95s from Chicago. We never played together, but obviously played against each other a lot growing up. And then now bringing in Jake Stevens, we're good friends. We skate together all the time in the summer, so it's obviously good to have him around. Having
the experience of maybe seeing Roanoke from a different perspective, coming in as an opponent, and you've played over 400 pro games now at this point if you count the postseason, whether it was in the SP or in the ECHL where you almost had 200 games. You had some time overseas as well. When you come into a brand new locker room like that and you have this extensive experience where you've been around, what was your approach as far as maybe trying to come in and find your role within the team and maybe find your role just within the guys building that chemistry off the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I knew on the ice I kind of knew my role. I definitely wanted to be a big part of the team. It's a real strong locker room, a lot of great guys, a lot of great leaders. It's an older team, so I don't really try and do too much off the ice in the sense like we've got a lot of veteran guys here who take care of the culture around here, so I'm just trying to slide into that rather than bring much to it. But as far as on the ice, obviously I wanted to be an impact player every day.
When you were overseas in Europe, I know that's kind of a checkbox type of thing for a lot of guys that maybe they want to get that experience to go overseas. And when you were overseas, you were in France, then you were up in Poland, kind of like right on either end of COVID hitting.
Yeah.
What was that experience like for you being overseas during that? And then overall, just what was that experience like for you getting to have some time overseas and get that life experience?
Yeah, it was cool. Living over in Europe is definitely, something I wanted to do. Same with playing over there. So France and Poland, a lot different countries. They both have positives and negatives to it. But overall, both experiences were really great.
When you were starting out in your career, after your junior career wrapped up, you ended up going to UMass, and you played a couple of seasons there, and then you decided to go into professional hockey. Take us through maybe that time at UMass when you were there, and how that decision came to be where you decided you wanted to go ahead and turn pro.
Yeah, we had a new coach come in, so it wasn't going to be great for me to be there anymore. And then back then, you had to sit out a year when you transferred, so I didn't really know what my future was going to be like with college hockey. So I actually just went and watched a Quad City Mallards Fort Wayne Comets game with my dad, and we both thought it was awesome. So we said, you know what, I'll just, I can finish school online, in the same program I was in at UMass. So, and I really like the pro game. I think it's more suited to my style of play. So kind of just went for it. And to be honest, I'm really happy with how it turned out and with my decision to do it.
If you had to pick one guy that you were going to vote for public office off the roster, who's that guy going to be that you think would have your vote?
Yeah.
You think he would be the right leader to put in?
I think CJ Valerian is definitely would have my vote. Just a real personable guy, real intelligent guy, and someone who you could trust.
Yeah, I feel like he's always got that that positive politician type of aspect to him. He's sharp between the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've been here for this whole season, you've been back and forth, but you've been able to see the group grow from maybe when you were here in November to now you guys pushing towards the playoffs. What's the messaging like in the room now that you guys are getting ready for that postseason push and trying to make a deep run?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been on a little bit of a slide, but everyone's still pretty confident in, the players on this team, the coaches on this team. So I think we're just trying to bring, a lot of intensity, trying to, not get to the playoffs and be shocked by what type of hockey it's going to be, kind of, treat each game coming up as a playoff game. So just really bringing that intensity and the desperation to win.
From what I could kind of tell just from when you've been here, I feel like you eat, sleep, drink, live hockey. Like you feel like you're just a hockey junkie. What's one of those players maybe when you were growing up, or maybe even today when you flip a game on when you're at home, who's someone that you try to maybe take from their game or that you look up to as a player?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's tough to say that I play like them, either of them, but I love Nathan McKinnon and Leon Draisaitl. I just think, they play different styles of play, but I just think they're so dominant in their own way. So they're balling out every game. So those are the two guys I usually watch.
And this year you've been super productive with the Rail Yard Dogs. You've had a lot of success individually. Obviously the team is in good shape going into the postseason. Is that kind of something that you expected when you came in, that you were going to be able to find that role, carve it out, and kind of make it your own here within the Dogs?
Yeah, I expected the team to play really well. I expected myself to play really well, and obviously, things don't always go exactly how you plan, but so far it's been nothing but positive stuff for my experiences in Roanoke.
How did you end up getting your start into the game? What was that entry like for you? Was it family related? Was it something where you just were all over it from the rip that you wanted to be out on the ice at a young age?
Yeah, I'm originally from Minnesota, so everybody plays there. My dad played, my two older brothers played, so it was, it just always known hockey, always played, so it was kind of just very natural to play.
When you do get some time away from the ice, maybe some free time, or you're able to go out and about after morning skate or something like that, what are some of the things that you found that you like to do, maybe some of the places that you like to pop around to when you're here in Roanoke?
The downtown's really nice, so usually go on some walks there. Been up to the Star, but not too much, just kind of a homebody, so, but it's still, I'm still really enjoyed the city when I do go out.
Is there anything else you want to say? Anyone you may want to shout out, anything like that, before we wrap up?
Yeah, I guess I should give a shout out to my new fiance, Brooke. So obviously really excited about everything with her. So shout out, Brooke.
Yeah, nice. Well, and congratulations to you on that, my man.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can add a couple other rings into the mix in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, appreciate your time, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
Driving with the Dogs is sponsored by Haley Toyota, the official ride of your Rail Yard Dogs. Visit Haley Toyota online at HaleyHasItForLess.com and stay tuned for more episodes coming soon.